Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. I'm going to do a very brief talk based on our journey, really, and the purpose behind that journey. And I'm sure many of you have had moments within your lifetime where you've questioned the journey that you're on. Why? Why am I on this journey? What is the purpose behind this? Sometimes we can even think, what's the point? And it's difficult to understand when we live in such a material place, a place that's not all hunky-dory, if you like, not all is well, and we start to question the reason behind many things, why so many tragedies that we have to go through, we have to experience. Why are there so many awful things going on? Now, what's the purpose behind all this? Why are we going through all this? The thing is, we individually, like I said in my previous video, we are very, very unique. And each one of us has an individual purpose. And that purpose is to fulfill self to a degree. What we need to be looking at is the lessons that we learn on this journey, on this pathway, and the reasoning behind that. Many things are made up of elements. I mean, even like the air that we breathe, it has certain elements within it. The purest of elements is life source, is the energy that flows through all that we see, all that we experience. That is the purest of energies. Many give that energy a title: God, Buddha, all sorts of different titles that we give it. We see that as a God, if you like, that life force, that bright light, that warmth and that love. In order for us as human beings to make some logic, to make some sense out of it, we produce or design, if you like, figures, symbols, all sorts of things, so that we can, in our own human way, make some sense of it all. But like I said, the purest of elements is that of source, is the Great Spirit, is God, if you like. That is the purest of elements that flows through everything, obviously including ourselves. We are made up of probably hundreds and thousands of different elements, but that's looking at it in a kind of chemistry way, I guess. But in order for us to fulfill purpose, to become one with the purest of elements, then we need to be able to experience a number of different things. And we need to learn and progress and become more purer, if you like. We are made up and contain an element of that life source, that energy that flows through us all. But we have certain elements that we need to be able to overcome, if you like, to experience, to deal with. Therefore, we have this experience here in order to do that. And once that is achieved, we then move on to the next stage of our journey as we pass through those realms of spirit. We experience, we learn, and we progress as we move forward. Life itself does not just exist here in body, would be purely a pointless exercise. And like I said, we have a purpose. We need to grow spiritually as beings, as an element, if you like. We then, well, our aim is to become one with that life source, to brighten that light. So, when those problems arise, like I said in my previous video, overcome them and be proud of that fact that you achieved that and move on. It's important that we don't hold on to too much negativity. That is very important. We need to learn to let go and to move on, to experience, to progress, and become part of that life force. There's always that element of life force, of source, of God in everything we see. That is a constant thing. It exists in all. But its purity is kind of darkened whilst we experience it. And what I mean by that is that element of light that exists within us obviously has certain barriers, being the human side of things, certain boundaries, and it's for us to try and grasp that element of spirit, of self, of that life force, of that source within us. If we can grasp that and expand that and move forward through experience, we then are progressing towards that purity of source. So there is purpose. And a minute fraction that can help someone move forward with that is through the light worker element upon this earth. Because like I've said many times, we simply light a spark. We simply try and give direction to that next part of someone's journey. We try and explain that life does go on. The consciousness goes on. So there's mediums, there's healers, there's all light workers. Then we simply are giving a message to help a soul progress and move on. By giving that message from a loved one, we prove that life does go on, and we simply light that spark. So thank you for listening to that, rather brief. I'll do a more in-depth video on Patreon. Probably in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll do a more in-depth version of that. I hope that wasn't too complex and too complicated, but simply in a nutshell, we are simply heading or trying to make our way along this windy path to that purity of source. I hope that helps. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll speak to you all again soon, and have a lovely evening. Bye for now.